Good afternoon, everyone. It is certainly my honor and pleasure to present the next honoree. A member of the Stark County Board of Developmental Disabilities for the past 12 years, immediate past president, and literally served in every leadership role during his tenure. A member of the trustees of the Ohio Association of County Boards for 10 years and served 2 years as board president. Initially appointed to the Ohio Disabilities Council by Governor Strickland, he was reappointed by Governor Kasich. As vice chairperson of Ohio CIVs, as a CIV himself, he has dedicated his life to serving people with disabilities. In October of this year, Governor Kasich recently appointed him to the Governor's Council for People with Disabilities. Please join me in honoring and recognizing for the Distinguished Service Award, Mr. Robert Milliken.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is an example of the kind words that can be spoken about if you read a big enough check. Bill, it's your job to wave your arm fearlessly into the air when I reach the 10-minute mark. That's the time limit I've been told I have. Recognizing that I'll probably ignore it and go beyond the 10 minutes, but at least everyone will know that I'm over my time limit, and that really doesn't matter. Because my philosophy is I get paid by the word. And my other philosophy is, why would you say in 50 words what you can say in 5,000? So, bunker down. I want to tell you a little bit about my journey. And I'm not going to start at the beginning of my journey. I'm going to finish with that today at the end of my message. Because if I start at the beginning, I'll be talking about my brothers, and I'll be a blubbering idiot up here as I shed tears down my cheeks. So I will finish with that. I'm going to start in 2001 when I was appointed to the Stark County Board of Developmental Disabilities and began my term serving the people that have developmental disabilities in Stark County. It's been an incredible journey. Along that journey, there's a number of people that I owe a debt of gratitude, and I'm going to thank them personally today for playing a significant role in my journey. Those first 4 years, not being one that's short on words, I was probably talking as much then as I am now. The problem was I didn't know what the heck I was talking about. Any of you that are new board members or in your first term, you understand that. There's a huge learning curve for board members. Our system, although we do a tremendous job serving people with developmental disability, it is a complicated system. It is convoluted at times, and it is a challenge to maneuver, even for the experts, let alone the families that we serve. In 2005, after having my first term on my belt, I took my first trip to Columbus. I was not too happy with things in Columbus at that point in time, and I went to my first OACB board meeting. And then President Dave Donald, Dave, I want to thank you as one of my mentors. I said to Dave that day, Dave, as a guest, as a member of the association, I'm not really sure what the do's and don'ts are, not that they really matter. But I said, I'm not sure if I can really voice some of my opinions, and Dave made one of the worst decisions of his life. And he said to me, I quote, "Oh, Bob, please feel free to say whatever you want." And I haven't shut up since. But Dave, I thank you. You were one of the first people that sort of took me under your wing, and you have played a significant role in my journey. I thank you for that, sir. Tom Armstrong, are you in the room? There he is, way back there. Tom, I can remember the first spring conference I was at. You invited me to dinner with a group of folks, and we sat and talked about where the system was, where it was going, and you were one of the first people that began to educate me as to how in Stark County we needed to do better than we had been doing. So I thank you, sir, for your role in my journey. From 2006 to 2011, I served as a member of the Board of Trustees for the Ohio Association, and 2 years of that was board president. I followed in Dave Donald's footsteps. In no way did I fill those shoes because I had a pair of very large shoes to fill, but Dave prepared me well for my presidency. There are tremendous advantages to those county boards that have members of their local board serving on the association board of trustees. You were on the front lines. You were hearing firsthand from the decision makers and the power brokers in this DD system exactly what's going to be happening in the near future, what those decisions are and how they're going to impact the local county boards and how they're going to impact the people we serve. If you've never had a local board member, as a member of the association's board of trustees, I encourage you strongly to give serious consideration to finding one of those 7 board members to run for office. You're on the front line. You heard it first. You're able to bring that knowledge back to your local board and make a difference because you do have that information. I was able to do that in Stark County. As I started spending more and more time in Columbus, I realized that we were out of step, that we were behind where the system was going. I took that knowledge and information back with me, and I was able to play a part in making a difference in the lives of the people we serve. I haven't even started talking about my brothers yet. I'm already losing my composure. When I came to Columbus and Stark County, we were pretty isolated. I described it, we were in a little cocoon. And we board members, we 7 board members, we were kind of getting spoon-fed what the then superintendent wanted us to know. And he was content for us to really be kind of a rubber stamp. As the folks who know me well, I'm not much of a rubber stamp. We were drinking the Kool-Aid, as I described it, and we were telling ourselves how great we were. As I started to interact with the leaders in the field, the Dave Donalds, the Tom Armstrongs, and many, many others, I began to realize that, you know what, we're not quite as good as we'd like to think we are. So I took that information back and we started slowly to make a difference. In October of 2006, Mike Miller became superintendent of the Stark County Board of Developmental Disability. That was a real turning point to us. Mike, I've told you this privately, but I want to say it in front of this audience today. We owe you a huge debt of gratitude for what you did during your tenure. I know you paid a high personal price, but I thank you, and you made a difference that is immeasurable. It is my opinion and the opinion of many others that there is no single other person that could have come to Stark County and faced the challenges that we were facing at that time and done what needed to be done. Mike Miller was, in my opinion, the only person that could have done that. Marianne Chamberlain, my friend, another mentor, and Amy Grubbs, both of Morgan County Board of Developmental Disabilities. Marianne and I served together as a respective presidents of our association. Marianne, the president of the Superintendent's Association, and myself as the County Board Association Board of Trustees. Marianne, when we took office, there was a wee bit of tension. And after our tenure of 2 years, I can proudly say that we made a real difference. Things were much kinder and gentler, thanks to you, because you were the kinder and gentler to my not so much. I want to thank you for your gentle teaching concept. I know you are spreading that word statewide, and it is such a wonderful philosophy to be implemented and serve the people with developmental disabilities. Amy, being the right-hand person to Marianne, you kept us both in check, kept us on task, kept us pointed in the right direction, because Lord knows we can wander off in a lot of different ways. So I thank you for that support. Marianne, neither Marianne nor I could have done the job we did without your support. Thank you. Dean Fidel, my friend. Good to see you in the room, sir. Lame duck and all. For those of you who don't know Dean, he is a member of the Franklin County Board of DD, the current board president. He's the immediate past president of the County Board Association. Dean served as my vice president, and it was his job to keep me out of trouble, and that's no small challenge. Dean has been my counsel on more occasions than I can possibly begin to reiterate. I have sought Dean's counsel on so many subjects, so many topics, and I value his friendship and his counsel more than words that I can describe. Thank you, Dean. Director Martin, John. I have used these words to describe you before, but I want to say them in front of this audience today. Sir, you are a man of honor and principle, and the difference that you've made for the more than 80,000 people in Ohio with developmental disabilities are beyond words. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve with you. You've called upon me on many occasions, and I was thrilled every time to be able to step up to the plate and do whatever was needed. I thank you, sir, because you have played a tremendous role in my journey. Bill Green. Bill, you stepped in right after Mike, and unlike the large shoes I had to fill with Dave Donnell, you had large shoes to fill, but you didn't skip a beat. You have carried on. You have moved our agency forward in ways that are immeasurable. And the services that we provide today for the people with developmental disabilities in Stark County are vastly improved. And I thank you for your role in my journey. I'm going to speak to my fellow board members just for a moment. 88 counties times 7, you do the math, it's 600 and some of us. We're all volunteers. And Dave Donnell had made the comment years ago, we may not get paid for what we do, but it is an unbelievably important job that we have to carry out. And it is a serious, serious job. I want to thank each and every one of you board members that are here today. A couple important points for the board members in the room to ponder. If you're a board member that thinks business as usual is acceptable, if you're a board member that thinks we should go back to the past, if you're a board member who is accepting of the status quo, if you're a board member that doesn't understand the value and the tremendous strength and tool that waivers are, individual waivers, IO waivers, and level 1 waivers, if your county, if your board does not understand and appreciate the value, the tremendous value in waivers, and if you're not pursuing them aggressively, if you think standing still is acceptable, there is no standing still. There is no going back. If you're not moving forward, you're losing ground. My friend Bill Ginter, a 12-year member of the Summit County Board of DD, implemented this philosophy in Summit County. He called it continuous improvement. Tom, I know you know it well. Dave as well. If you went to Bill and said, look what we've done, Bill's response was, that's nice. Now what are you going to do? He wasn't interested in yesterday or even today. He was interested in the future. He was interested in moving the system forward. Doing better than you did yesterday, doing better than you did today. Everything we've done in the past, that's wonderful, but how are we going to advance the system and do better tomorrow? I would challenge each and every one of you to take that philosophy back to your local county boards. Continuous improvement. How are we going to improve tomorrow what we're doing today? Because what we're doing today, I don't care how good it is, it can be better. I'm going to close by talking about the root of my passion. The root of my passion, for those of you who don't know my story, I'm the youngest of 3 children. Both of my older brothers, Ronnie, who was 19 years older than me, and Randy, who was 12 years older than me, was born with what they would then diagnose as mental retardation, a developmental disability. They are the root of my passion. My parents tell the story when I was a toddler, my 2 brothers watched over me like a couple hawks and made sure that I stayed out of trouble. Again, no small task. And made sure I didn't get hurt. There came a point in time in my journey where a transition began to occur. And I became the hawk watching out for the 2 of them, making sure they were safe. It's an honor and a privilege, along with every person in this room, to be a hawk today looking out for the more than 80,000 people with developmental disabilities living here in Ohio. I want to thank each and every one of you for the role that you carry day to day, helping the people that we're called to serve. I consider it a privilege to be part of you, and I thank you for that.